Let's get together and start a revolution. Open up your heart.
Hey, welcome back to Defending Utah Radio and Television. I am Ben McClintock here in studio. Even though we're apart, we're social distancing. We're in different places. Oh, wait, we're in the same room. With Micah Turner here. From defendingutah.org.
Totally social distancing. We are not
We're not
in the office.
Not social distancing.
Yeah. We're totally not within arm's reach of each other.
And we are from Defending Utah. We're serious people. Defendingutah.org. We think right and wrong, not right and left. We appreciate you joining us today. If you like what we do, you want to support the program, you want to support the efforts that we do, as well as receive the great training that we receive and great tools that we have on our website, go to defendingutah.org and click on the membership tab today and choose the level of membership that's right for you. Also, check out our brand new revamped store. It actually works now. And pick up the booklets, DVDs, and all the great stuff that you need to be able to help people become more informed on the principles of liberty. Yeah,
and we have a new slogan: Defending Utah, totes legits.
Totes legits. All of the legits.
And that goes for our store. Totes legit store.
So the show we're going to do today, I think, is going to be maybe surprising to some of you because there is an organization that a lot of people would think would be in line with a lot of what we do, but they've just come out with a bill, and they've gotten a legislator to introduce it about privacy, and it's how do we say not about privacy. And so we want to kind of show you what the media is promoting it as, and then get into the actual bill itself from the organization, and from there. And so this is about privacy. It's being promoted as being about privacy. Let's go to the if I can find this. Is it not that? I'm learning. I forgot which thing it says. Okay, here we go. That should go, right? That didn't work.
We'll find out.
We'll cut it out, but it's got that tracker on the bottom, so it gets harder to edit without knowing it. Oh, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So this is the Salt Lake Tribune, and what they've reported on this bill. You can see proposal seeks to create oversight of government surveillance and tech in Utah. And as rapidly evolving technologies and cozy government contracts raised alarms over privacy issues, or at least some Utahns made some Utahns uncomfortable, a local think tank is touting a solution. So the Lehigh-based Libertas Institute has released a proposal Thursday morning, and it's calling the Privacy Protection Act. So we have here.
it's like it's always how they name these things, like the Patriot Act.
No Child Left Behind.
No child. Yeah, it's like it. That's the name. It probably does the opposite. It's probably totally exactly not what it says it is.
Let's look at the quotes that the Tribune uses. So, for the past several years, we've seen a number of instances in which the government has been acquiring and using technology that endangers or undermines people's privacy, said Libertas President Connor Boyack. This is being done largely without any oversight, public awareness, or scrutiny about whether these tools are acceptable.
Also, my name is Connor Boyack, and basically, I'm AstroTurf, and no one really follows me. But the Tribune likes to act like I'm a big freedom guy.
Let's go on. Quote: "We need to be considering opt-ins and opt-outs of of our data being."
Oh yes, we need to be considering.
Opt out of my fourth. I'm going to opt into my Fourth Amendment and Fifth Amendment rights being violated. People shouldn't just be government guinea pigs when it comes to personal information. Okay,
Sure.
Who can go along with that? I mean, who can go against that? The Attorney General's office says, to my knowledge, the position has not really addressed any of these problems. Boyack said this about. So Phil Bates is in charge of making sure that your rights are your privacy is protected in the Attorney General's office.
And remember when Herbie did that thing where he sent you a text message for being in the bathroom in Kanab 30 times?
30 times, and when they said that they're, it's creepy. Some people might call it creepy. We call it innovative.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, these people, they already have a track record of not giving a crap about your privacy.
So,
And, of course, it's not about your privacy. It's about trying to figure out ways to oppress you by getting information out of you.
Boyack responds to this idea of this office and the security officer and what his position is. He says, to my knowledge, that position has not really addressed any of these problems. We feel it's better to have an auditor's watchdog role and to have a privacy officer working with them. We're going to look through the bill, but just right off the top, we got the privacy officer.
Right. These are the same people that just pulled all this crap off over the last couple of months. And, well, these are the same people that let the NSA Bluffdale data center come to Utah.
Right.
And sit over there in Bluffdale.
But,
these are the same people.
Hey, they're libertarian think tank, and so maybe they're actually trying to reverse all of that. Let's look into this a little.
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe they are.
The proposal specifically calls on the committee to review use of biometric technology by police, including facial recognition, DNA databases, and fingerprints stored on cell phones. Now that people can unlock phones with fingerprints or their face, police officers...
We don't even need to read anymore. The proposal specifically calls on the committee to review use of biometric. The fact that they have the data it's enough. No, the bill should say...
They're not allowed to.
Yeah, done.
The Constitution... we don't even need a bill because the Constitution... Hey, government, you're breaking the law. You need to stop now.
Yeah, Fourth Amendment. Get a warrant. You want biometric data? Get a warrant.
Now that people can unlock phones with fingerprints or their face, police officers have found it helpful to their cause to require a defendant to unlock their phone. Well, they can't because, like you said, they need a... What is it? What do they need?
It starts with A and ends with a warrant, I think.
Rhymes with warrant.
Yeah. I'm not sure what it is, but I heard it rhymes with get a warrant.
Is that a violation of the Fifth Amendment right to incriminate themselves?
Yeah, also
is
that
it?
is.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's an interesting open question
You're
right there.
forcing them to testify against themselves by having them unlock their phone.
The AG's chief of staff, Rick Cantrell, according to the Tribune, says, I like the idea, but we hadn't had enough conversations to take a formal position.
This is like the most...
So the organization that's violating your privacy is saying they like this bill.
Yeah.
Red flag. We're not saying that that's a slam dunk, but it's definitely... something to say, hey, what's going on here?
I'm saying, it seems a little suspicious. I feel like I'm just turning into a peanut gallery because this is just like, I feel like this whole article is like, you start off with saying, hey, look at this article. They hate all your freedom. And then the rest of the article is like, yeah, water's wet. That's what I feel like.
Well, you thought that our United Nations video was water is wet as well.
It's true. It was water's wet. It's just, I guess everyone didn't realize how wet water really is. It's really wet, folks. It will drench you.
So we got the Center of Growth and Opportunity at the Utah State University said the Libertas proposal would put Utah ahead of the curve. I don't know how. Does that mean like everybody else is violating the Constitution so much that when we start following the Constitution, we're ahead of the curve?
We can just put any number of words together we want, and it makes a valid sentence, apparently. I guess that's how it works.
Most other states that are concerned about privacy are creating extremely prescriptive and backward regulations. I love how they're just, like you said, like a string of words with no meaning, no background, no explanation. So I don't know if that's the Tribune's fault because they just suck at reporting, or if it's Koopman that is just being ambiguous completely.
I think it's probably both. And on purpose.
This proposal is creating a space for innovation following the Constitution in Utah without stifling what the future may look like.
For innovation? What kind of innovation?
Well, we got to read the bill.
Tyrannical innovation.
Let's get into it. So we've got lots of stuff. There's the article, and then there's the act itself. We'll just go to the website, though. This is the Libertas's Big Brother website proposal, the Privacy Protection Act. The problem we produce an inordinate amount of data on our computers, using our phones or with our smart home devices like Alexa, Ring doorbells, yada, 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 or even our own DNA reveals profound information about us. This information is frequently used in ways that an individual did not intend nor authorize. Government uses our driver's license data or facial recognition and cancer research. Okay, that's illegal without a what?
I know this answer. It's a warrant. That's it. Final answer.
Our movement and social media post for lifetime surveillance. Oh, wait. Okay, this one, social media post, that's what we make it public, basically. We're saying, hey, government, you can know this about me.
No. I'll take a warrant for $500, please.
Even if you a public Facebook post, that's not just like you just...
No.
That's not the same thing as you walking on a street corner with a megaphone and the government doesn't need a warrant to listen to you on the street corner with a megaphone.
Yeah, but you still... If the government wants information, they have to get a warrant.
Even on Facebook, I don't know.
Yeah, they do. Facebook doesn't have the authority to just give them info and they get to just consume it.
No. But if you're public, like somebody searches Micah Turner and they're just looking at your public profile, don't you think that's the same as just having a megaphone on the street corner?
Well, then we have to go to what's the definition of seize? It's take. You take information.
Well, they're taking information when you're walking on the street. With that definition.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but you're walking.
Is a side note. I didn't think we were going to disagree on this.
But you're walking down the street. You have to go. There just happened about. You have to visit Facebook to see what I'm doing.
I have to visit that street corner to see what you're doing.
Yeah, but you're already naturally there.
I was already naturally at Facebook.
Government doesn't get to just go to Facebook.
I don't know. But our movements obviously are things that are subject to what? A warrant. Our blood for health analysis, again, a warrant. Our DNA for identifying relatives in criminal investigations, again, a warrant.
That seems really weird. Identifying relatives in criminal investigation? They need your DNA they need to get your DNA to identify somebody else?
I don't know.
What is something is weird about that sentence right there. I don't know what it is.
Our face or fingerprints to access the entire contents of our mobile phones, our private health information to monitor potential drug abuse and more. Again, get a warrant. The law's already there. I don't know why we need new laws for this. This intrusion into privacy changes the relationship between government and citizen and often happens without oversight or public buy-in, let alone explicit consent by those whose information it is. So they're breaking the law. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, this is a bill that says they have to follow the law. Is that what they're going for here? That's kind of what it seems like they're going.
That's the only reasonable outcome for those series of words that claim to make sense.
So here's the solution. We propose a 2-part reform to holistically address this privacy problem. Part 1. This first phase entails setting up a process whereby information can be gathered, use of private information can be scrutinized, and recommendations made regarding policy reforms for phase 2. Okay, so this right here it seems like a big problem. The first phase entails setting up a process whereby information can be gathered. That process is already in the Fourth Amendment called a warrant.
Well, the thing is so we're like disagreeing on Facebook a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like because it's public information or whatever, right? Because you posted it out there. But they're just trying to do some word association. They go, the first phase entails setting up a process to gather and private information.
And use private information, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's already not even in that realm, they're saying.
Right.
They're already saying that in order to
protect... outside of Facebook. It's all these other things they're talking about, your DNA, your movements, your license plate information.
Yeah. This is like... Yeah, this is like 2 years ago. I can't remember who it was. It was like some crazy eyes at the federal level. It was like, we need to have a national database that has everyone's DNA information so that we can protect it. This is the same thing. They go, well, we need to protect all this private information. So in order to do that, first we have to consume as much of it as we can.
Right. To keep it safe.
To keep it safe from us, we will proceed to gather all of it so that we can best figure out, once we have it, all the information that we're not supposed to have, we can figure out how to protect it.
1, the legislature should create and fund the state privacy officer. Isn't that what like your the judge is supposed to be when he authorizes a warrant? Within the state auditor's office, the position would be appointed by the auditor. So an unelected bureaucrat would be given the authority to make sure that your privacy is protected.
This is just the more it goes, the more obscene and ridiculous it is.
The auditor will assemble a personal
Oh my
privacy
gosh.
oversight committee composed of 7 to 8 volunteer tech privacy experts, advocates. How are those guys chosen? Are the privacy experts. What makes you an expert? What makes you an advocate? You were saying with one of the guys on the Corbett report comes out and says,
Yeah.
"What's an expert? Not you."
Yeah, privacy group, privacy advocates. They're people that aren't you. That's every time you read that, that's what you read. They're like, it's not you. Just remember that.
Along with 1 to 2 law enforcement representatives. So we've got like the civilian review board basically that is going to go over your data without a warrant and decide. I mean, we got to look at the data, the exact language, but that's what it's looking so far.
I'm sure that they're not going to be paid somehow.
With one, oh no, it just says right there they have to create and fund this privacy officer.
Yeah, but then they say 7 and 8
the oversight
volunteers.
committee with volunteers and 1 or 2 law enforcement representatives. Yeah, we need cops looking over this stuff without a warrant. This will be done on an ad hoc basis.
You mean? I think what they really mean is full time.
Full time for the short term by the auditor. This should be formalized in statute later to give the committee oversight authority and legitimacy to ensure government agencies entities respond. Okay, let me tell you right here, right now, it's the other way around. All of these government agencies go to the state and say, legislature, you need to do X. It's never the other way around where the legislature's like, hey, you guys are kind of getting outside your wheelhouse and your bounds here. No, that's not how it goes.
No, this is not. This is just, and then they go, well, it's 7, 8 tech/privacy expert/advocates, people that aren't you. And they said that we can go ahead and take all of your data. So it's okay now.
It's okay now.
We can do it now because we
oversight.
have 7 to 8 of our friends.
Well, 10 including the police.
Yeah. We have 10 of our friends that said we can do it for 3 million people in the state.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's okay. 10 people that are our friends said so. I feel like I'm like...
We don't need the 4th Amendment because the committee said so.
I feel like I'm living in a madhouse. I'm just saying the same thing over again because it's so insane. It's like hard to like handle. It's just like this article is like a madhouse. This is crazy.
The responsibilities of the state privacy officer shall include, okay, we're giving this unelected bureaucrat these powers. Develop guiding standards. Guiding, so not firm. They're just going to guide us, and if we have to break them, whatever.
It's not even like in the law. It's just like we just hand it to this guy, and he makes all the rules.
And you're like,
well, what can we do? The guy made the rules, and then the 10 privacy advocates that are our friends said that they were just following the standards. It's just another way to pass the buck.
This is like the BLM and the DLM.
Yeah.
So for use by the officer and
my
the
gosh.
Personal Privacy Oversight Committee regarding privacy law, technology, and data security. So privacy law is what? The 4th Amendment. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
I provide information to private citizens, civic groups, government entities, and other interested parties about government use of technology, privacy concerns, and data security standards. Provide relevant information on the state auditor's website in a form that is easily accessible. Provide education and training to government agencies regarding 1, the implication of using certain technologies and civil liberties concerns.
You mean they're going to train them how to use the tech?
Right.
That's what it is. That's what that means.
Standards for collecting and storing PII.
What is privacy what does that PII stand for?
Say it there. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. That's why I'm wondering if I just glossed over it.
Hold with us for a second.
What
we'll
is
see
PII?
what PII stands for. We'll search Google. It'll tell us.
Personally
Identifiable information. Okay.
Okay.
So, standards for collecting and storing
All of your data.
all of your data, a.k.a. the 4th Amendment.
is no longer valid.
Because these are new standards that go around that.
Yeah.
Data security standards and best practices. The purpose and processes of Personal Privacy Oversight Committee. So then we go to B, field
So the paid bureaucrat makes the rules, decides who's on the committee, and decides how they're going to do it.
Yeah, that's how it works. Field requests from individuals to review a government agency entity's use of technology, software, processes that implicates privacy. So this unelected bureaucrat fields all of these complaints against the government's violating your privacy.
Don't worry. Don't call your legislator or email him or tar and feather him like he deserves. What instead you need to do is you just need to get in contact with this guy who doesn't give a crap about you. That's all you need to do from now on.
If a request merits review, and he'll decide.
And he'll request merit. I live it like, and there's going to be some people that are, even though we keep saying it, they're like, well, what's your solution?
The
We've been
Fourth
saying,
Amendment.
The Fourth Amendment. The solution has existed for like 200 and almost 50 years. The solution has existed before this started. We don't need a new one. We just need to enforce the one that exists.
Holy crap.
We need to use the solution that exists.
If the request merits review, produce an analysis regarding details of the technologies and software process, what data is being used, how the data is secured and stored, who is it shared with, whether a person can, or in the officer's determination, given the circumstances, should be able to opt in or out, and have informed consent.
They get to decide whether someone opts in or out.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Oh, jeez.
How such information is de-identified or anonymized, and whether better processes are needed.
I want to know if they're like, okay, we'll opt you out. Like, I bet there's no, I highly doubt there's any way that in the system they're going to make that even possible. And they're like, Dad, okay, well, John Smith, we're going to put his info in, and every time we get info, it just automatically deletes it. Baloney. I don't believe it for 5 seconds.
Get a warrant.
Get a warrant. Yeah.
Comparable or related technology software processes that could possibly be used to better protect privacy. Initial finding regarding whether the present technology software process adequately protects individual privacy. So basically, if the process makes it so they can gather information without a warrant, it's bad.
Yeah. What they're trying to do is they're trying to make an NSA Bluffdale database for Utah.
Well, that's what
state level.
If you go back to our other podcast, you can actually, we did a show about how, what's his name? Sean Reyes actually, and this is why his office probably likes this, is because they've been looking for a state version of the NSA Center for over a year now. If you remember us doing a show on that. So, of course, the AG's office is in favor of this. The initial finding regarding whether the present... The officer shall make the finding pursuant to the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures as described in Article 1, Section 14 of the Utah Constitution.
Of course, they leave out, get a warrant.
Get a warrant. That's in the U.S. Constitution.
That's to be secure. It just says that we can't do what we're doing right in the bill.
If the finding in 3B8 is against the use of the technology process, refer it to the Personal Privacy Oversight Committee for further review and passing the buck. Require government agencies, entities, including local governments, to provide an analysis of any person identifying information they collect, store, and with that information perform an analysis to determine if the agency entity is adequately protecting information. If not, issue recommendations to the local legislative body, like go get a warrant. Each year, the officer shall do this for at least 10 agencies, entities, or local governments. So the officer every year is going to tell 10 agencies to get a warrant? Okay.
What?
But they're going to do an analysis for 10 entities. Okay.
We have to...
So they're going to audit 10 entities throughout the state through a year.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that'll matter.
Well, and 10? I mean, 10. How many cities are in the
you
state?
know what that really means? Is they're going to collect data from 10 entities throughout the year. That's what it means.
Yeah.
because you cannot.
How can you give them an audit without the data?
You're going to get all their information they have on everyone.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go, oh, okay, well, we think you're handling it okay, but we'll go ahead and keep all this information we got from you.
Oh, wow.
They'll go to like, I don't know, like we want to target birthing centers or something because we want to kidnap mama's babies because of the COVIDs for 2 weeks after they've given birth. And so they'll go to they'll be like, well, we need to make sure that you're handling all of your data with all of the new mothers appropriately. So we need all of their information, their address, their phone number, what they look like, all the data you have on them. Oh, okay, okay, whatever. We're good. Now that we have that data. That's exactly what that is. That's a way for them to basically take private information from private companies who are outside of their system.
Well, it says right here it's the government, so I don't know if they would. I mean, they do that, but I'm curious if that's actually.
It just says entities.
It says determine the agency or entity, which means like
it could be anything.
Before it was saying like government agencies or local governments and agencies or entities. We could look at the language of the bill to see if it needs to be more specific. Because entities is very generic. Agency, I would imply government. Local governments is implied. But you're right. I think that's a good word to catch. We should look in the actual legislation to make sure it's not your local freaking birthing center.
I bet there's no way it's not, because there's no. I mean, yeah, it could not be because it's legalese, but we know that's what they want to do anyway, right?
Yep. The responsibilities of the Personal Privacy Oversight Committee shall include review proposed uses of technology that the state privacy officer has flagged for committee review. We already said that. Provide any report or analysis each year to the Legislative Management Committee for referral to the Judicial Interim Committee, which should hold a hearing each fall to review such reports. So once a year, the government, your elected officials are going to address this issue.
It doesn't even go to a judge or anything. It's just like...
For 2021 only, the committee shall review the following uses of technology and provide any recommendations for legislative reforms regarding their use in their first annual report to the legislature. Use of video and audio feeds for synthesis analysis to facilitate surveillance, past or present, by law enforcement using public sources and private sources.
Doorbell cameras. So they're going to get all of the doorbell cameras.
So they're going to review the uses of technology. So they're going to review how these things are used.
Yeah, so they can determine what they want to focus on to rip data from.
And that's what they already got in trouble for with that Banjo Corporation, that they didn't end the contract because they were violating everybody's Fourth Amendment rights. They violated it because of the guy had views that the government didn't want people to have. Not that I agreed with them, but his crime was thought crime as opposed to actual crime.
See, I don't think they could go to Facebook, because I don't think it's reasonable to just go to a public forum and gather information, because if you're just driving by somewhere, that's reasonable because you can see them with your freaking eyeballs. And you're doing whatever you're doing. But if you're looking for them, you're looking hard, that's a search. That's a search. So you're going to Facebook, you're like looking for somebody specifically, you're a cop.
So when you say like patrolling the neighborhood is a search?
Yeah, but they're driving. They have to be physically somewhere. They have to exist. So I'll give it to them. I don't know.
I think it's technologically the same thing.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine.
I disagree, because I think they got to go more out of their way to do it. It's unnatural.
Facebook searches are much easier than driving around town.
Yeah, but they're more targeted. Because you can't just be like, well, I'll just drive around this block, and then I know he has to go to work eventually. But like Facebook, you just type in a name, and then bam, there it is.
Boom. So it's easier.
Yeah, it's way easier, but you have to go. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm weird.
Now, if you put your settings to you and your friends, if they want access to that takes a warrant. If you put it private, if they want access to that takes a warrant. But if you put the world on that thing, for it to be shared and viewed by everybody on the planet, I think that's the same thing as just shouting on the street corner. But yeah, if you put it friends only, totally need a warrant.
All right, I concede. I see your point. I still hate them, though.
Well, okay.
I will never concede on my distaste for them.
Bulk analysis of social media feeds to recommend action intervention by law enforcement. So bulk analysis. So that's going to be having access to the private areas, which is seriously problematic without a warrant. Use of biometrics by law enforcement. Compelling a person to provide access to their entire digital life via a facial or fingerprint scan. Facial recognition technology, both using government databases and social media photos.
Wait a second. Will you read number 1 again?
Compelling a person to provide access. So this is still under C. So the committee's reviewing how this is being done. So this isn't giving them power to do this right here. It's saying that this is happening, and is this legal? And so they're reviewing the process. This is their first audit for 2021. They're saying if this bill passes.
So they're basically trying to figure out how to compel a person to give.
Well, they're saying that this is happening, and so we need to audit it. Is what I'm reading it as.
Okay. Sorry, my head's just swimming with insanity right now.
Using public-private DNA databases, right? So if you get your DNA swab from, what's it called? Family Search, not Family Search, what's the other one? Ancestry or
21andMe.
Or whatever it's called.
Or,
and the government says, snatch the DNA from that to...
Even though every time you give birth in the hospital, they prick your baby's foot and get a blood sample.
Yeah. Review data sharing agreements among state agencies with third-party participants, including but not limited to federal agencies. So this is really I want to read this bill to give everybody this analysis. I mean, what they're saying it does by out of their own mouth. I don't want to be getting in the weeds, but I don't want to be accused of just snipping and taking out of context. We're just going through and showing what it is that they're saying it does. This is all still in part 1. So the government agency entity may not use a technological software process that the Personal Privacy Oversight Committee is recommended against. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a problem. Doesn't matter what they say because the Fourth Amendment says they need a warrant.
Yeah, there's just more evidence to show all they're doing is trying to create their own little committee.
They're going around the Fourth. This is a committee to go around the Fourth Amendment. Is what
this is like HB 3900.
Yeah,
that we murdered, God willing. It's like all it was everything that the government was doing is already illegal, and they were just trying to basically rubber stamp everything they've been doing.
Yep.
Like, no, it's okay. See, this is the exact same thing. It's just it's a rubber stamp. Well, actually, this also creates stuff, but in addition to that, it is a rubber stamp.
So unless the legislature authorizes it, the use needs to stop on May 1st of 2021. So. You think the legislature's not going to do that? Come on. For local governments.
They just let the governor shut the state down for 3 months.
And unilaterally change election code without impeaching him, et cetera, et cetera.
Let me tell you something. Your legislator, he's a piece of garbage. I don't know who he is. He's a piece of garbage, though. I can tell you that. There's only one guy that doesn't seem so bad.
He's less bad than the others.
What, Phil Lyman?
Or, and possibly one other. But
he who shall not be named. I don't know.
For local governments, the use must terminate within 60 days unless specifically authorized by the county or city council. Each favorable recommendation, blah, 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 committee shall sunset within 2 years, at which point the state privacy officer shall perform a review to determine if anything has changed about the use. If so, the committee shall flag it for committee review. Again, not authorized by the Constitution. Again, this is just creating a body that passes the buck, that is completely unaccountable to be able to destroy your Fourth Amendment protected rights to privacy. Then we go to part 2, which says have a Judiciary Interim Committee hold 1 to 2 interim meetings in the fall of next year regarding the Personal Privacy Oversight Committee's recommendations. In the 2022 session, have an omnibus privacy reform bill that enacts necessary reforms restricting government use of private information to better protect. Okay, so this is an overview of what they're claiming that it does, and it's... As we've gone over this, the only way you can interpret this is as not saying, hey, the government is violating the law, we need to make them follow the law. We're creating law that makes everything right now that they're doing legal because an unelected bureaucrat said so. And their group of volunteers from your local police department and...
they're privacy advocates that are not you.
Oh, man. So... man, this has gone on. we wanted to really go into detail and not just kind of say that we just put things together. We wanted to read that for you and show you all of the serious problems that are in this proposal and why it's a problem, even though it's coming. Because a lot of times people say, well, Libertas is doing it, then it must be okay. And if you learned anything from defending Utah before, it is hopefully you'll learn it now. Is you need to read the bill, no matter who it comes from, because the devil's always in the details, and this has serious privacy problems. It's a serious problems regarding the Fourth Amendment and the need for the government to get a warrant to do what it's doing. It's the Attorney General's contract with Banjo was a problem because they were accessing all of this information without a warrant. The government's, the NSA building and its total just blanket access to our information on the Patriot Act is a violation of the Constitution, and that's what needs to be addressed. Not creating an unelected bureaucracy that you can report to if you think your rights are being violated.
And they can't write a warrant carte blanche.
Right.
Can't do it because a warrant has a person's name on it. It has the place and the things to be seized. So you can't just write a warrant that says we always get Micah Turner's data. That's literally
not how it works.
That's literally not a warrant. That is just a piece of crap. It's just a piece of paper.
But and it happens, and there's been some articles showing how, 90-something+% of warrants are done in less than a minute. And so the judge hasn't even really had the opportunity to even look at the data to say, oh yeah, this guy's, this looks legit. We need to look into this guy. No, it's even under current circumstances, it's basically a rubber stamp. And so instead of saying, well, let's push this off to some unelected bureaucrat, let's say, well, wait a second. Let's actually follow the law that's already there.
Oh my gosh. Please don't fall for this. This is not good. This is really bad. We don't want an NSA on a state level.
This needs to be stopped before it even starts. So until next time, I am Ben McClintock here with Micah Turner. Go to defendingatutah.org, click on the membership tab, and become a member today.